Have you ever heard the saying, anxiety is like a rocking chair? It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you very far. We get caught in the rocking, the worrying, the what-ifs. We feel like we're moving, like we're something about the problems swirling in our heads. But the truth is, we're stuck. Anxiety whispers this dangerous lie that we're making progress simply by thinking about the problem over and over again. But real progress requires us to get out of the rocking chair and step into the arena, even when it feels scary. It's about taking those hard, courageous steps forward, even if they're small. So how do we break free from the rocking chair of anxiety? How do we move from a place of fear and paralysis to a place of action and growth? Over the next few minutes, we're going to explore some powerful strategies for doing just that. The first step to any kind of change is awareness. It's about hitting the pause button on the autopilot of our lives and really tuning in. When you feel those familiar knots of anxiety tightening in your chest, ask yourself, is this productive worry? Is this moving me closer to a solution, or am I just going in circles? We often avoid this kind of self-reflection because, frankly, it's uncomfortable. It's easier to stay in the familiar, even if the familiar is causing us pain. But awareness is about shining a light on those default patterns, those well-worn grooves of worry that keep us stuck. Once we start paying attention, we begin to notice how often we're caught in unproductive thought loops. We start to see the difference between actually solving a problem and just ruminating on it. And this awareness, my friends, is where our power lies. It's the first step towards stepping off the rocking chair and onto solid ground. And one of the most powerful antidotes to anxiety is action. It's about shifting from a passive state of worry to an active state of engagement. It doesn't have to be some grand sweeping gesture. In fact, it's often the smallest steps that make the biggest difference. Let's say you're feeling anxious about an upcoming presentation. Instead of letting those anxious thoughts spiral, ask yourself, what's one small action I can take right now to feel more prepared? Maybe it's creating an outline, practicing in front of a mirror, or asking a friend for feedback. Each small step, no matter how insignificant it may seem, chips away at that feeling of overwhelm. It reminds us that we are not powerless, that we have agency, and that we can move through our fear one step at a time. Remember, action is the antidote to anxiety. It's how we break free from the paralysis of overthinking and step into our courage. When anxiety has us by the throat, the last thing we often want to do is sit still. But mindfulness, my friends, is not about emptying the mind or achieving some blissful state of Zen. It's about learning to be present with whatever is arising without judgment. Think of it like this. Our minds are like snow globes. When anxiety strikes, it's like someone's shaken that snow globe up and our thoughts and emotions are swirling all around us. Mindfulness helps us gently set that snow globe down and observe the snow as it slowly settles. It's about noticing those anxious thoughts without getting swept away by them. It's about acknowledging our feelings without letting them dictate our actions. Regular mindfulness practice, whether it's through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply taking a few moments to be fully present in our bodies, can gradually change our relationship with anxiety. It helps us create a space between ourselves and our thoughts, a space where we can choose how we want to respond. Our minds are incredibly powerful storytellers, but sometimes the stories they tell us, particularly when we're struggling with anxiety, are not based in reality. They're fueled by fear, insecurity, and worst-case scenario thinking. Cognitive restructuring is about learning to identify and challenge these unhelpful thought patterns. It's about asking ourselves, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? Often, when we take the time to examine our anxious thoughts, we realize they're based on assumptions, not facts. We start to see that our fears, while very real to us, don't always reflect reality. And as we begin to challenge these distorted thoughts, we start to rewrite the narrative. We replace those old fear-based stories with new, more empowering ones. Embracing the unknown, the courage to accept uncertainty. If there's one thing that's guaranteed in life, it's uncertainty. And for those of us who struggle with anxiety, this can feel completely debilitating. We crave control, predictability, knowing what's coming next. But the truth is, trying to control everything is like trying to hold on to a fistful of sand. The tighter we grip, the more slips through our fingers. Acceptance, in this context, is not about giving up or resigning ourselves to a life of anxiety. It's about recognizing that uncertainty is an inherent part of the human experience. It's about learning to dance with the unknown, to find peace in the present moment, even when we don't know what tomorrow holds. It's about letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting that we have the strength and resilience to navigate whatever life throws our way. So, my friends, as we come to a close, remember this. You are not defined by your anxiety. It does not have to hold you back from living a full, meaningful, and courageous life. By cultivating awareness, taking action, practicing mindfulness, challenging negative thoughts, and embracing uncertainty, you can break free from those old patterns and step into your power. Real growth happens when we get up from the rocking chair and go out into the world. Every day gives us the opportunity to choose action, growth, and progress. It's a choice to show up, to be brave, and to live a life that is true to ourselves, even in the face of uncertainty. The journey won't always be easy, but I can promise you it will be worth it. Now go out there and start rocking your world.